Today we're gonna be talking all about periods and puberty.
Because it happens to every woman.
Your uterus prepares a lining inside for the babe.
Ew, Mom, you smell.
Or it makes you
bleed out of your body.
You bleed.
I cried about Cheetos?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. All right, welcome to the Ohana adventure. What's up, Toa Squad? I am Mom, or Rachel.
I'm Klai. I'm Cora. I'm Rykel. I'm Evelin.
And we've got a giggly crew today. Today we're gonna be talking all about periods and puberty. We used to do a lot of these talks, mostly Klai and I, when we started our YouTube channel about 5 years ago. And at that time, Rykel was actually going to her very first maturation program. And Rykel was so embarrassed. I'm gonna link that down below and put it on the end screen so you can watch, because she's like, don't talk to me. But Klai, on the other hand, actually has been pretty open about it.
Because it happens to every woman. Well, 9 out of 10 women. So, everyone's gonna go through it, or everyone is going through it, so they will completely understand.
So we are a very open family, and ever since Klai, or even before Klai started her period, when she went to her maturation program, and then when Rykel did, I was raised this way, and we're really open. And like Klai said, we're all women, we're all girls, we're all going to go through this. Our body will change, and this is all natural, and it's real, and it's gonna happen to, like Klai said, 9 out of 10, or 99% of females will go through this.
And one thing I've learned is a lot of parents or people are not as open to things, almost to like protect them because they don't want to.
I think parents get embarrassed too. I think parents get embarrassed. Truly, like it is, I think, all of our personalities. So sometimes if you're a more timid person, or maybe you get embarrassed talking about it because maybe your parent didn't talk to you about it, and so it kind of gets passed down. So my mom talked to me about this when I turned 8 and then 9. And so now that Cora is 8, and she just recently had the big talk. And if you haven't watched that, you should go and watch that. So we are a very open family, so we like to have these conversations. And Evie is now the age that Rykel was. She is 10, almost 11, or turning 11 this year. And she is going to be doing her own maturation program, which we've started in our homeschool. And exactly the same thing that Rykel got when we started this YouTube. So we wanted to share because there's been a lot of questions going on in the house. And so we thought we would share with you.
Mom, why do we get periods?
So remember when we talked about women's bodies preparing for babies? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Evie? So women, girls will go through puberty, and through puberty, which means like you have hormones, which makes you smell.
Ew, Mom, you smell.
Or it makes you get hair in your armpits.
Ew, that's just gross.
And other places. Or you start to grow taller. Yep, you get sweaty. Evie, we learned a little bit about this in maturation. What are other things that happen when you go through puberty?
You get taller?
That's right. So you're gonna grow, different things will grow. But as you go through puberty, your body changes to be able to create babies. So do you remember how we talked about menstruation? So menstruation is when the female body prepares for the egg. So your eggs come from your ovaries, they go down your fallopian tubes into your uterus, which is the size of a fist. Everyone make a fist. Your uterus is the size of your fist. So the egg goes into the uterus, and your uterus prepares a lining inside for the babe. So your body in the uterus makes a lining for the egg, and when the egg drops down, and if the egg is not fertilized, the lining and the egg is flushed out of your body.
And that's what a period is.
And that's what a period is.
Bleed out of your body.
You bleed.
Someone asked, does it hurt? A lot of people implement blood with pain because like if you get a cut and you bleed, it normally hurts. But
From
a
the cut.
a period actually does not hurt. It's not the bleeding, and that is not what makes it hurt. It doesn't hurt when it's shedding out of your body and coming out. You can get a thing called cramps.
Cramps will hurt.
And what are cramps?
They level, there is a degree of pain in cramps, so sometimes it can hurt only like a tiny bit, or it can be a lot of pain.
Sometimes you can get the pain, which I have had in the past. This only happens once every few periods, and it can be caused by like food and stuff like that. But you have really excruciating pain in your stomach, and for me, sometimes it'll make me puke.
So yes, someone actually did ask a question. They said, if you puke on your period, is that normal? And yes, if you puke often, you will want to see a doctor, talk to your parent about that. But once in a while, it is normal because it's normally, like Klai said, combined with probably indigestion, or like whatever you're eating in your diet, your body is not handling well, and so combined with cramps can make you nauseous.
So one thing I have found that really helps to prevent the pain of cramps, if you have a good tracker for your period, then watch what you're eating and you're exercising about a week before you start your period, or 2 weeks before you start your period. And I've found that if I'm eating healthy and exercising good,
drinking lots of water,
you don't actually get you could still get cramps. That's not something that
it's not guaranteed to not come, but it's also like varies. So 1 month to the next, you might have really bad cramps,
or you might not have any at all.
Or you might not have any at all. So let's ask a question, girls. On your first period, did it hurt? Do you guys remember? No?
No.
My first period, I actually didn't even notice, and then I was like, oops. And my first period happened when I was in English class in 9th grade. That was embarrassing.
Mine was in choir class. We were unboxing all of the shirts. So in my choir class, normally we're like sitting and listening to the teacher like a normal class. But this time we were walking around and we were able to move or go to the bathroom or like leave. It wasn't as embarrassing for me to leave. And I thought that I had just discharge, but it felt kind of weird. So I went to the bathroom and that's how I started.
So Rykel probably had the most most awkward place, because that's kind of always what when we travel a lot, and I always fear that I'm going to start and I don't have supplies, even just your regular monthly period, and so that's kind of a stress for me. So Rykel started our plane was,
I wasn't expecting it at all.
but she handled it like a champ.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
No, she didn't tell. You
days.
didn't tell mom the first day on the plane, did you?
Yeah, she didn't say anything. I don't think for like
she
6
just
days.
like rolled her. What did you do?
You roll up toilet paper.
This is a hack. I've done this. I think a lot of girls do it. You take a lot of toilet paper and you roll it around your panties and you stick it right
I've done that a few times. Like when I was in school, I did that like
But it's
a few
uncomfortable.
times. But
it is uncomfortable.
Well, but toilet paper dissolves. So like dissolves and then it gets like really disgusting.
Yeah.
It just bleeds right through.
That's true. But it's supposed to tide you over till you find a pad or a tampon.
Yeah, it's not meant to be a pad or tampon. Don't do it.
Ready,
for that.
girls?
What age am I supposed to start?
It can kind of vary. It depends on you. So I started when I was 13.
Rykel started at 14. So it really does depend on your family. So if most of your siblings are 14, then you might start around that time. Are you ready, Evie? No. Well, one thing to help prepare is we always have supplies.
Yes, that's one thing that's awesome is you can like be in public or let's say in school, and anyone that like any girl, you could be like, hey, do you have a tampon? Or hey, I just started my period, and they will be like, oh my gosh, yes, here you go. Like without thinking, they're not gonna be like, ew, or like they're like without.
And a lot of girls are very gracious about this because they're going through the same thing, or they're going to, or they already did.
Mom, do you have to tell your mom and dad?
No. That's a good question. When I got my first period, I actually didn't tell my mom. I told my sister, and she helped me. She showed me how to clean my underwear that I bled on, which is do it with cold water, guys. And she told me how to use a pad and all different types of supplies. So no, you don't actually have to tell your mom and dad. They could be helpful. So if you don't have any older siblings, you might want to, because then they can help you out with that. And even if you do have some siblings, you might want to talk to your mom because they do have a lot of good advice. Remember, like all women are going through this, all women. And so just so you don't feel like alone, but you don't. I don't think everyone has to talk to their parents about it. It's just a good conversation to have because then they can help you through the hard times, especially if you have like bad cramps or if you are in pain and what to do.
Is there a lot of products that we have to learn about?
Well, there's not a lot. There's a different assortment. Like there's pads, there's tampons, and I'm pretty sure that's it. There's different kinds. Like there's different types. So if you're like heavy, light, or just like spotting, there's different pads for that. And then tampons are used for different stuff. So like swimming, you can use tampons.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different types. There's sport ones for people who are more sporty. There's also regular ones. They also have some other products like a Diva cup.
It is basically like a tampon, except for it is made of like a silicone, and it is literally a cup that you will put up into your vagina, and then as the blood comes out and it sheds down, then the cup actually catches it, and then when you go to the bathroom, it stays in, but you can pull it out and dump out the cup. It's a lot healthy for your body because tampons can only be in your body for so many hours because it is a man-made substance.
Tampons can kill you.
No, it can't. It has been known to cause toxic shock syndrome, but that is like 1 in a million. It's not very, very common. But the point is you're supposed to change out the tampons often and frequently. So like it's only supposed to be inside your body like up to 4 hours.
So instead, you can shove a cup up your body.
That's not what it is. It's actually, they say that studies have shown that when you use less products that are man-made that have chemicals in them like tampons, using a menstruation cup actually helps your cramps, and over time, it's interesting, but like things you put into your body, you have to be very careful of.
Mom, what's PMS?
PMS stands for premenstrual syndromes. So, as you have hormones that make you grow and go through puberty and things like that, you get those hormone influxes before your period.
So you could cry a lot, or your emotions change.
Because your hormones are increasing before your periods.
There have been a few times where I've found myself randomly crying over the stupidest stuff, or getting
Cheetos.
offended over... I cried about Cheetos?
Yeah. It was a couple years ago. I was really upset because someone took your Cheetos and I didn't understand why you were crying.
Wait, I did
It's
that?
okay.
Also, your body starts to crave stuff. Your body wants to, or your mind, it starts to want to eat this one certain thing, like chocolate. Chocolate will like normally always help.
So the reason why you get cravings is because your body physically needs like a mineral or a vitamin in the substance you eat.
If there are any boys watching this and you have a girlfriend, a sister, or something, and you want to help them for their period, a lot of guys give girls chocolate. It's not exactly first something they might crave. It's such a cliche thing. First of all, chocolate does not help your period.
It actually doesn't.
It will make it worse.
Yep.
Unless you want dark chocolate, but no one likes dark chocolate. Except for me.
I do.
I like dark chocolate.
But normal people don't like dark chocolate.
Normal people.
Just kidding. But it doesn't help. And a lot of the times girls don't exactly crave it. It can be other things. Like
They might want hummus and chips.
Yes,
I actually crave salty things.
And sometimes when I crave things, I end up getting very hangry.
Are there other symptoms of PMS?
Well, so you have hormones where you could be teary-eyed and crying, you can get hangry, people get angry and ornery.
That was me this morning.
And like the cravings for food. But other symptoms could just be like you might be a little bit more tired because your body is preparing. Bloating is a big one. So it feels like you had a lot of like treats in your tummy.
And you can't exactly like suck it in.
Yeah, that's bloating. And then it's also cramps. So you can get cramps before your period and on your period.
Mom, how do you know that it starts?
It's a good question. Girls will begin as they go through puberty to get what's called discharge. So it's like a little clear, like milky substance that will come out of your vagina and go onto your panties, and it looks like, kind of looks like snot. Kind of looks like
It does.
okay, and that is just your body maturing and going through puberty, and so it's kind of like that. So sometimes you'll feel like a little wet on your underwear, not like you peed or anything, but it's just a little bit.
It doesn't feel like you peed. It feels like something else.
It's just a little bit
You'll know
something.
the feeling when you get it.
So having a period, when a period starts, it's gonna be a little bit more like that. So you'll feel a little bit more.
It'll be like that, but a little less sticky. It'll feel a lot more wet and liquidy.
But before you start your period, it's always good to have products available, which I think we need a part 2 to this video. Maybe the big girls will take the little girls shopping so we can find the best products.
We shall embarrass them.
Probably. So it's always good to have products available. Now, if you live in a house full of girls, our house is full of products all over the place. So every bathroom has them. So you won't have to worry here, but it's always good to take like a little period pack kind of makeup case thing that carries them, and you can keep them in your bag or a purse or something when you travel.
Oh, speaking of that, Mom or Rykel, how do you guys carry around your products around? Like if you're going shopping and maybe you are on your period, or maybe you
That's why I like purses. I carry them in all of my purses.
I have some friends who will stick them like in their bra, like on the side, like over here.
Yeah, if you don't have like, if you have pretty regulated periods where it's not too heavy, you can stick like a little something in your pocket, no one will know, a little pad or a tampon. You can stick it in like a little shirt. We actually, do you remember that video? We did a video years ago, Klai and I, on like 10 places to hide your period products. I'm gonna link that down below.
True.
And we actually even did it for summer.
If I go to friends' houses or wherever I go, normally you will see me with like a fjallraven or a little backpack, and I'll have like 2 to 3 products in it. But it's like my sixth sense. I know when I'm gonna start without even having to look at a tracker or anything. I know when I'm gonna start, so I don't really need to bring a lot. So I'll bring 2 or 3 just in case someone else needs any. But I'll have a little.
And that's actually a good thing to talk about, is how Klai mentioned she has a tracker. She actually introduced me to Clue. Clue is an app, it's a free app, and it helps you track. So you just put in like your first couple days of your period, and then it'll at least like halfway through the month, I always go, crap, is it coming? Or when we're planning a trip,
but
so then I can check on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but for me, mine isn't like, okay, it's the first week of every single month. Sometimes it's a few days off, which ends up making it so I need a tracker to know when I'm going to start, because mine isn't. I mean, it's like regular.
Yeah.
But it's off, so it's not like, okay, I know I'm gonna start the first 2 weeks of the month, and then the next 2 weeks of the month. Mine can be the first week of the month, next time it'll be like, or it'll even be the end of that same month and beginning. So it really is.
Yeah, it does vary. You should track, because sometimes, like some people have 28 days, 28, and then like the next month it's 26 days, so it's shorter. So then, like Klai said, it'll be at the first of the month and then also at the end of the month. So you could have them say twice in a month. But then the next one might be 30 days, so it's like even longer. So it's good to keep track. There's some good apps. We'll link them all down below so you guys can check those out.
I have the last and ultimate question. When will it all end?
It's a good question. I didn't know this until I was probably pregnant with Klai, that women will have periods well into their 60s. For some reason, I thought like at 40 you stop for some reason.
Oh, I wish.
But women will somewhere
I never
between,
thought about it.
sometimes between mid 40s to 60 years old, just like how when you start a period, it's kind of what your family does. It's how long it will go through. And that's what's called menopause. When you start your period, you have an influx of hormones. So when you end your period, it's called menopause. It will be like off and on, like for a year, it'll be irregular, or a couple of years, it'll be irregular, and it will slow down. So you have like a period once every 2 months, and then once every 3 months, and then it will kind of slow down.
Are there any bad things about menopause?
Yes.
I've heard there's been.
It is just like how when you start your period, you get this influx of hormones. Your hormones will do the same thing when you go through menopause. So like you'll have high hormone days and then low. And people, when you go through menopause, you get like hot flashes. I'm not through menopause because I'm not even 40 yet, but it's hot. Like women will get really, really, really hot, and then like they'll be sweaty out of nowhere. And that's like, again, that's an influx and then a drop of hormones. So it's interesting. It's like the opposite effect. I think this was fun. Are you guys ready to go shopping?
Yeah.
Woo! No.
I'm ready to embarrass.
All right, if you guys like this video and you want to see us go shopping, we need like 10,000 thumbs up. That's right, 10,000 thumbs up. And go to our community page if we don't have comments down below. And we'll start a good conversation about this on the community page so we can answer all of your questions. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.